Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I share with you headlines from my news feed and my thoughts about those headlines, about the subject matter at large, about having read the article or whatever. If I feel like sharing any thoughts, I'm going to share them with you. But it's not news, it's just my notes on the news. So let us proceed. Before I even get into my actual news feed, which I don't think I have this on my news feed because I figure everybody already know about this book, Fire and Fury. It's this the third day that it's just been top of everybody's conversation. It's about the White House, inside the White House, the zero administration White House, and they let a reporter, a journalist, a columnist in, and it's like dog eat dog. You know, he's like he seems to be like, you know, kind of, I guess they trusted him, a low quality type guy, and he's done, you know, this expose just exposing, you know, really stuff that doesn't really seem all that shocking to me, because it seems like, oh my gosh, they're disorganized in the zero administration's White House. No, say it isn't so. What? He seems to have some mental health issues, or maybe he has dementia. No, say it isn't so. What? He behaves like a child? No, I couldn't tell that from the outside. It's like I saw somebody tweeted, they ain't said nothing that nobody, somebody over 40 don't already know. So I don't know. I mean, you know, but they released the book early, and people were in line in Washington, D.C. at midnight to get the copies, and they sold out in 20 minutes. And you know, I don't know, the author this morning was doing interviews, or did an interview like on one of the morning shows or something. So that's like all the brouhaha. But, you know, I kind of feel like wake me up when we want to talk about impeachment, or I don't know, just wake me. I ain't woke up for that. Don't bother me with that mess. A celebration of Black female photography. That's a book, I think, and it's Black female photographers and their work. The FCC chairman received death threats before canceling his CES appearance. CES is some like electronics conference, I think. And the FCC chairman is this Indian guy, Ajit. I can't remember his name, but he was the one who led the way to the this whole net neutrality rollback of what the Obama administration had put in place. He rolled it back, so he's the hero of some, but I guess some people want his behind dead. You know, I always grew up like the barking dog don't bite. So I always figure, you know, like my mother was in a play and we were joking because she was about to hit somebody and she was like winding her hand up, but it was like a dramatic thing for stage. But it's like I don't really understand the concepts of threats. You know, I figure if I am going to do something, I definitely don't want it on the record, and I don't want you to have any warning, you know, so I don't really understand, you know, but he got threats, and that stopped him from going to the conference. Consumer Reports says to avoid romaine lettuce from now. I think romaine lettuce might be one of the more popular lettuces. For whatever reason, I've kind of been off of raw greens for the last few months, and I think I might kind of stay off of it. When I was in India, I wouldn't eat raw food unless it was something like an orange that had a peel that I could peel off. Because I was concerned about, you know, just kind of how food had been handled and how it had, you know, whatever. So, and that was what was suggested to me. So I think I'm going to do my greens cooked. You know, I figure this kale is really popular. These lettuces are really popular. They come prepackaged. Big corporations make them. And we know the big corporations, a lot of them ain't nothing. They do stuff in a really slapdash, unregulated, crappy, mass-produced, jacked-up way that makes people sick with things like salmonella on their romaine lettuce. So anyway, I think I'm going to, you know, try to adjust. I always, when I notice like potatoes, we know the potatoes are really popular because there's potato chips, baked potatoes when you go to a steakhouse. You know, potatoes are French fries are just a really meat and potatoes. That's like the societal thing. Peanuts are really popular. I try to stay away from peanuts and peanut products. Raisins are really popular. I try to stay away from, you know, raisins. Well, I don't do them unless they're organic for the most part anyway. But all of these big mass crops like wheat, that's used to make bread and pizza dough, bread for burgers and pizza dough for pizza. And I guess those are the most popular meals. So you figure this country produces a lot of them and it's mass produced, and it's the quality of the stuff is janky. So I guess I'm gonna have to put romaine lettuce, and just all of these lettuces, they come, it used to be like when you went to the grocery store to get, lettuce, it would be like packaged a certain way. Now they're all in this cello bags. They're pre-washed, supposedly, all of this other mess. Africa's week in pictures. Why cycling is much more than just a sport in Colombia. Yeah, it's so cold. Serena Williams pulls out of Australian Open. I'm not where I want to be. China snow. Heavy fog brings chaos and beauty. Thai penis whitening raises eyebrows. Y'all, they already had vajayjay whitening, and I guess it didn't raise eyebrows when they had vajayjay whitening. They won't be white all over. Lighten me up, even to the peen and the JJ. What? People do that here? North Korea accepts Olympic talks offer, says South. Black lightning. First look photo of Nafisa Williams as Thunder in CW series. I don't know who Nafisa Williams is. I don't know nothing about Black Lightning or Thunder, but it was a black child, black girl. She looked black to me. New York City blasted for not pulling film permits during bomb cyclone. So the city and the union should have been like, it's too cold. There's been a state of emergency declared, so don't come to work. Like the children in Baltimore when the schools were too cold and the children were still in school and the teachers were still in school in their coats, and nobody said the temperature is not. There should be some range of what's reasonable. If the city has determined the state of emergency, then no, the films should not continue to go to work. I don't care if the corporations are going to lose money or not. The union should have said, no, that's not safe, healthy working conditions for human beings, just like these children in school in Baltimore in their coats. How they going to focus on learning when they cold? I don't understand. I don't understand. Fox News, Brian Kilmeade gripes about reported lack of white men on Mueller grand jury. I think the president is like, they went to central casting and got the black folks. Because we know Washington, D.C., it don't have a lot of black people there. So how could they have a lot of black people on the jury pool? And isn't it something when a jury of your peers doesn't have it's not a problem when a jury of my peers is all white men judging me. For those people over at Fox or whoever. But when it's a jury of my peers that are all black, or mostly black, I think it was 47% black. Now we got a problem. Okay. I see you. I've been seeing you. How a Ghanaian decided to set up a food bank. He said he came to the United States, had never seen a food bank before. And then I assume he went back to Ghana and set one up for people. Marijuana legalization must address the price paid by black bodies. Now, I hear people talk about this black body terminology all the time. I don't really understand it. I'm like, black people, like not just the bodies of the people, but the spirits of the people, the souls of the people, the jobs of the people, the psyche of the people, the communities of the people, the livelihood of the people, their ability to vote afterwards. All, it's like been an assault on the people. I don't understand the bodies, but okay. North Korea opens new ski resort amid Olympic optimism. Egypt balloon crash over Luxor resort kills tourists. Rest in peace, you and your family and all of us. After dropping lead single, Marvel announced Kendrick Lamar will produce Black Panther soundtrack. False earthquake warnings panics Japan. Jennifer Hudson gets real about experiencing racism as a wealthy black woman. Passersby shrug as Santa sprays bullets in San Francisco. I didn't read that article. That sound like they just like, oh well, there's Santa doing his shooting of people that he normally does. Maybe they thought it was Satan, and they were like, oh, that's what Satan does. I ain't studying that. 7 young adults went undercover as high school students and found life as a teenager today is nothing like they remember. Wow, remember that? You probably don't remember. There was a TV show called 21 Jump Street, and it had Holly Robinson. She was Holly Robinson then, not Holly Robinson Pete. And she was one of the people, and they were cops, and they would go undercover in the high schools, and they would investigate things, but they would pretend like they were high school students. So I don't know what, I think this is a TV show or something, a film or whatever. And I don't know what they found that was so different. And I don't know if it's different because your recollection is different with, some space, or if it's just like, it's a whole different world, or if it's just different because that's progress. Chronic body odor issue in workplace ends up in lawsuit. So this woman was a supervisor. People came to her and complained about one of the people who worked in the place, that the person's body odor was strong. And so the person went to her supervisor and said, this is what's going on. Meanwhile, this person who went to her supervisor told her supervisor what was going on, started putting up air fresheners in the office. And then other people started bringing in hair fresheners in the office too, and putting them up and stuff. And then the person who they say had the bad body odor went to the higher uppers and said that the person who started the air freshener thing had created a toxic work environment. And I kind of felt, when I heard that story, I was kind of like, now, I have had situations where we need to talk to people about, or where I was supposed to talk to people about hygiene. And it's very, very, it's very awkward, and it's very difficult, and it's very embarrassing. And it's like I hate to have to do anything like that. I don't know why they didn't just talk to the person directly. But anyway, the person said she was creating a hostile work environment, and then her boss fired her, saying that the woman's body odor was a mental health issue. But I'm like, why didn't the person, when she first went to her supervisor, say not a mental health issue, but it's a health issue. It's a disability. So you can't, y'all just have to deal with it. I don't know why, my phone is like, okay. I don't know why the person didn't say. I feel like this person got thrown under the bus, because I feel like I've had to talk to somebody about it, and it's like the worst thing in the world to have to talk to somebody about. And I feel like I have probably been the person who, when I came off of the aluminum based deodorant and was trying to get my routine and my body, in order, and it was like some days you'd be like, well, this is not a good solution, and some days you'd be like, okay, this is okay. I might have been offending people and nobody talked to me, and I don't know what I would have done if somebody had said you got to wear deodorant, or had approached me. I'd have been embarrassed. I probably would just have given up on my quest to find a way to live without putting aluminum based products under my arms and messing up my whole system. But I would have been offended to be at a place. I don't like to be around no air fresheners spraying chemicals in the air. You got chemicals plugged in, you pumping it in my system. Ugh! So I kind of felt bad for all of the people in the situation. Especially the woman who I feel like got thrown under the bus. And I don't know if she was spraying around the person with air freshener. Then I just feel like, you want to talk to people as human beings and treat them in a respectful way. So I don't really know, I don't know, but it was an interesting story. Hold on, let me find my space. I'll be back. Did you miss me while I was gone? You ain't even know I was gone. Russia shoe factory fire leaves workers dead. Rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear that. Pennsylvania man mistakenly arrested and injected with drugs. He had the same name as someone who had been at a doctor's office fussing and cussing and carrying on, I guess. They went to his house. He was outside gardening or whatever. I'm not who you looking for. And they arrested him and injected him with drugs, and he wasn't who they were looking for. That's awful. South Africa train crash. Bodies burnt beyond recognition. Oh, sorry, y'all. One walk through Seattle's Amazonia neighborhood made me very uneasy for whatever city gets headquarters too. It's like it's gentrified, it's traffic, it's expensive, it's a mess. While Iceland is the first country to outlaw the gender pay gap, the rest of the world is seeing a bigger divide than ever. Black excellence. North Carolina woman earns PhD at age 23. Yay! What's your name, sis? North Carolina woman. I have to look in the article to find your name. Michael B. Jordan's Outlier Society sets Alana Mayo to head production and development. So Michael B. Jordan is an actor. Outlier Society is a production company he has. So he's hired Alana Mayo to head production and development. But yay, we'll get to see some work from them hopefully soon. Motown Museum receives $500,000 donation from Hudson Weber Foundation for expansion. Mary J. Blige's estranged husband claims emotional distress from divorce caused him to be hospitalized. India's massive citizen database was reportedly breached. They have people's fingerprints, their names, so whatever, all the information has been breached. I wonder who breached it. JetBlue is giving all of its crew members a $1,000 bonus. Now, these bonuses are kind of like tax refunds to me, because if I give you $1,000 in one lump sum and you have a certain mindset, that seems like woohoo! Just like if you get your tax refund at the end of the year and you get like $1,000 or $2,000, it's like woohoo! Instead of you managing your tax situation so that, because it's like if it happens one year, that's one thing, but ideally you want to manage your tax situation so that you're not really getting much of a refund, because if anything, because that means you're giving the government a free loan to use your money all year, and you could be using your money all year instead of letting them use it, or you could be taking that money and saving it and getting interest, investing it or whatever, and you making a profit off of it instead of the government making a profit off of it. But we don't have that mindset. We don't think about things in that way. So they give you a $1,000 bonus and you get $1,000 in your hand, and that seems like, woo, that's $1,000. But if you look at it like if you make $13,000 a year and really you ain't even making minimum wage, $18,000 a year, $20,000, to pay you and to keep up with the cost of inflation, the cost of living, the cost of, they're paying people the least and giving me a bonus, giving a bonus of $1,000 to people who you pay in the least, who can't even afford to live, and it's some bull to me. Just pay people a fair wage and let them, get their $1,000 during the year through a fair wage. That's how I feel JetBlue and these other corporations. She's Gotta Have It star DeWanda Wise lands plum role opposite Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. How plastic is harming India's holiest river. We're back. We're finished. That's it for today's edition of Notes on the News. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. We're still working on 200 subscribers, so you can be a charter subscriber. If you haven't already subscribed, consider subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thank you. You're the best. You're the greatest. Everybody who's watching, you the best. You're the number one stunner. So be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you.